What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Beyond Crazy video. I am super excited for today's video. That's right, we are doing some soup today, and you guys have been asking for some fast, easy, inexpensive recipes. We are making two soups today that are gonna be hearty, they're gonna be filling, they're gonna fill that amazing void that you want in a soup, but they're inexpensive and they're quick. So let's get started.
So since I've started cooking on the channel, it's always the same things or a lot of the same things, like vegan recipes, vegetarian recipes, quick, easy things. I'm gonna hit all of those things in one recipe with this butternut squash bisque. So it's gonna be super simple. I'm just gonna preheat the oven to 375, and then I'm gonna break down my vegetables here, coat everything in some avocado oil, salt and pepper, and I'll show you the rest as we get it done. So the most labor intensive and probably the only difficult thing or even semi-difficult thing inside this entire recipe would be breaking down the butternut squash. If you haven't done this before, it's actually super easy. You're just gonna go ahead and peel the outside. I like to take it down to the actual fruit, so it's like anything else. When you take the rind off, you'll see like this part that's not all it. I'm looking for this. It's that bright orange color, taking off all of these green, like veiny looking things. So now we're just gonna go ahead and take that top off. You don't have to take the bottom off. Just being honest with you guys, I take it off, but it's not needed. Just take a spoon, go ahead and take this pumpkin-like consistency out of here. This is gonna go straight on to here. Okay, so a lot of time when people make this soup as well, they'll leave the outside on. I recommend peeling it, that way when it's actually hot and you've taken everything out, you're working with just the fruit of it, so that way you're able to just throw that all into the blender. Otherwise, you're gonna be taking a spoon into something that's hot and you're gonna be scooping that out. Just do the work early, don't worry about doing it later. Set yourself up for success. It's definitely worth it. So like I had mentioned, all of this is going to be getting blended up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cheek these. I'm not gonna go too crazy about worrying about taking out all the seeds and everything. Go ahead and throw these straight on. I'm gonna clean the onion, but the way I'm gonna do this actually is gonna be way more simple. Top, bottom, and then instead of going and cleaning it the regular way here, I'm just gonna turn it in half. More surface area, take off this outer layer, and then these will go straight on. So in some cases they'll fit there and hold it nice for you, but it doesn't always work out. Just gonna go straight on with these. With the garlic heads, I'm actually just gonna cut off the top, just like this. They're just gonna get placed right here.
It already smells amazing.
I'm gonna use 3 carrots. I'm gonna put inside the description everything that we're using, but I'm just gonna go ahead and rudimentally break these down. I'm just gonna give them a quick peel, break them in half, throw them on the tray. Avocado oil, you can use olive oil if you'd like. If you've been watching the channel for any amount of time, you understand that I love avocado oil. It's high smoke point and it's got an amazing taste to it. So I'm gonna just come over, not gonna be super exact. This is probably just gonna be like 2 to 3 tablespoons here, making sure I get those garlic heads. And then I'm just gonna come over the top, salt and pepper, throw everything inside my hands for a little bit and just throw it in. Probably about 35 to 40 minutes to roast everything off.
As I mentioned, I'm gonna be making the Zuppa Toscana, and Zuppa, it stands for soup. Toscana means in a Tuscan way, so it's a Tuscan style potato soup. Super easy. What I love about Zuppa Toscana is it's super filling. It is a heavy soup. When you sit down and eat it, you can eat it basically as just a meal. And if you do ever go to Olive Garden and you're wanting to save some money, but you're hanging out with some friends, order the endless soup and salad. I promise you, after 2 or 3 bowls of Zuppa Toscana, you're gonna be full. So we're gonna start off. I'm gonna actually cut my recipe in half. I was originally gonna do 2 pounds of Italian sausage. I'm just gonna do 1 pound. Mild Italian, you can go spicy or hot Italian sausage if you want it a little bit zippier. I am gonna be using olive oil because it's Tuscan soup and it's from Italy and that type of area. I just feel like olive oil is a little bit better and it has that flavor that you're more looking for. So a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Not too much. So there's quite a bit of oil that comes out of your sausage, and you don't want this soup to get too oily. I have done that in the past, so and we're gonna brown it up. Because we're trying to keep the cost down, I'm not gonna add bacon, but I do normally add bacon to this. So I would go like 1 pound of bacon and 1 pound of Italian sausage. The nice thing about soups is they're easy to multiply, right? This is gonna make probably 3 to 4 servings, so if you need 8 servings, just double this recipe. And we're not going for crazy, like small or anything like that. Most of the people that are eating this today love onion, or at least don't mind it, so. Oh, I just cut into this onion and woo, instantaneous tears, like, woo.
You have to emotionally detach yourself from the situation.
I'm emotionally attached to the Okay, our Italian sausage is mostly, yeah, it's good. And at this point, this is where you can gauge how much oil is in there. You'll notice sometimes when you eat Zuppa Toscana, if you put too much oil in it, at the very end when you're actually eating it, you have like this layer of oil. We're trying to avoid that. As much as I like oil, it's not really necessary. So we're gonna add our onion, and based on how much oil, we might need a little bit more. We want the onions to soak it up now, and just give it a mix. All right, we're gonna cook down the onions till they're translucent. Then we're gonna add in our garlic real quick, actually about a minute beforehand. We're gonna add our garlic, so the garlic's in there. And then we're just gonna do Italian seasoning. Hopefully I have some. I might not.
Says the entire alphabet in his head.
Oh, Italian seasoning. I do have it, guys. We're good. Generous amount of Italian seasoning. Just let that get on there and marinate. Oh yeah. Give it a nice mix. Get that flavor in there. Okay, now if you were gonna add bacon, what I would recommend doing is cook your bacon off in another pan or cook it in the oven on a pan and then dice it up. And you can add it right before we add the potatoes. I'll tell you when I would normally add it. So any copycat recipe that you find online for copycat Zuppa Toscana is gonna call for russet potatoes. I'm actually going with some yellow potatoes from Idaho. Tristan is processing some garlic for me. This is 2 heads of garlic, and then I'm gonna cut up our potatoes. All right, the onions are getting close. They need about 1 more minute. You're gonna make a little divot in the middle because you want the garlic to actually roast on the bottom. Gonna add just a little bit more oil right in that little divot. And just cook it until fragrant. Then we're ready to add the potatoes. And at that point, if you wanted to add your bacon, go ahead and add your bacon. All right, the garlic is fragrant. We're ready to add our potatoes. Now this is only about 1.5 pounds of the potatoes. I bought a 3-pound bag because I was originally thinking I was gonna double this, but we don't have that many people. Now the nice thing about this recipe is you can technically freeze it. I wouldn't freeze it for more than a month at a time, but you can freeze it, reheat it, and it's still amazing. Potatoes in. Now we're gonna come in with our broth, and we wanna make sure the potatoes are covered. We ended up using 2 things of broth in order to cover the potatoes. Now we're gonna bring this up to heat. We're gonna get it simmering, and then we're gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes.
Okay, so I was literally just about to do this off camera, and I figured why not like let everyone else in on what happens behind the scenes. So right now I'm temping it still, so I'm seeing how long it's gonna take. You can see that these are nice and blistered over. Okay, so that means these are just about ready. My main thing though is butternut squash is obviously gonna take the longest, so I'll just fork test it. It's not going all the way through right now. It should feel almost like a potato consistency. I'll do it on the outside so you guys can see. It's still a bit tough. So right here, it's good on the outside. I can touch all the way down, but right in the middle there, it's still hard. So that's just telling me that it's gonna need a couple of minutes, but everything else looks good. So I'll probably give it like 5 more minutes and then we'll get it going. Okay, so this next part is completely optional, but as you know, optional is just literally an option for additional flavor. So literally, if it says optional, if it's not a dietary thing, take the option, guys. There's a reason it's on the list. So I'm gonna go ahead and I've got just like the small knob of ginger, and I'm just gonna take a spoon to it. Just gonna scratch off that skin using a spoon, just so I can retain as much of that as possible. That skin really just comes right off with a spoon. And with this, I'm going to grate it down.
All right, meanwhile, we are still waiting. We're getting close. Just keep stirring this every now and again. I will say with my Zuppa Toscana, we thought about doing a us versus them type episode. Promise you, the homemade version of Zuppa Toscana is way better than the store. I actually don't even eat it at the store when I go to Olive Garden anymore. I end up getting something else because I know how good the homemade is. And it's just amazing, chef's kiss. Our pot has come to a boil. We're gonna reduce heat, keep it at a simmer. We're gonna cover, and 20 minutes on the clock. All right, so for the potatoes, you want them to still have a little bit of, not crunch, but you don't want the potatoes to just turn to mush as you're biting into them. You want them to have a little bit of a texture to them. So when you're boiling, I normally set it for 20 minutes. Russet potatoes and yellow potatoes cook a little bit differently, so you may want to monitor your potatoes to make sure you're not over boiling them. You don't want them to just fall apart. You do want them to kind of stick together, but still be soft enough to eat.
So it is about that time. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. My vegetables are all nice and roasted. I'm gonna separate these off. So I'm gonna separate these garlic. And so because I took the time to make sure that this is all fruit, this entire thing can just get broken into pieces and thrown inside here.
Instead of having to touch really hot fruit and try to peel it out, yeah, preparation is key. Oh, I was like, there's something metal in there.
Oh.
It's like in the middle.
I was like, that's the top of the blender.
I was like, look at this. There's something metal in there. Oh, wait, that's the top of the blender.
Tell me you don't trust the process. Okay, so I know what you're thinking as I put this all together. Oh my gosh, that's not gonna blend like that. Vegetable broth, it will blend. So I'm gonna add 3 cups over the top, and I'm gonna blend this until it's nice and smooth.
Okay, our potatoes are getting super close to done. When they have about 5 minutes left, that's when you're gonna add your kale. Now, I bought the expensive kale. You don't have to do that. Go buy the inexpensive kale. All right, kale in. Put as much as you like or as little as you like. I have actually made this recipe with no kale at all, and some of my kids absolutely love it like that. I like the health benefits of kale, so we're doing it, and that's how Olive Garden serves it. So then we're gonna do about a cup of heavy whipping cream, and that's about a cup. We stir, re-add the lid, and we'll simmer for another 5 minutes, and then we should be all set to go.
Okay, I double blended this thing Starbucks style, so hopefully, no clumps in it. So take this, I'm gonna push this straight over. And so if you've noticed, I really haven't seasoned much of this yet. I'm gonna come in with a tablespoon black pepper, a tablespoon of rosemary. And yes, if you're wondering and you're one of the humans that's leaving me the comments, that's not a tablespoon, prove it. Paprika.
It's about that much.
Yeah, about an equal part paprika, equal part thyme, a little bit of ground cumin, it's gonna be an equal part as well. And then this part is optional, but literally like I just said, if it's optional, put it in. If you're not scared of a little bit of heat, I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes. I'm just gonna go ahead and break those in my finger right over the top. It's just gonna add a little bit of depth of flavor for us. I'm gonna go ahead and come on here with medium heat, and I'm going to slowly incorporate. This one's organic, you don't need to use organic, but I tend to use unsweetened whenever I'm working like adding in flavors, just because vanilla would kind of mess this up in my opinion. Unsweetened organic coconut milk. It's gonna add that creamy consistency while keeping this vegan. I'm gonna go ahead and add my cup now. Maybe a tiny bit more than that. I'm gonna give this a nice stir. Right now, I'm just gonna bring this up to heat. As soon as it comes to a boiling temperature, all of that cream has come up to a nice temp as well. And that's about it. You don't need to like simmer this off or anything. You already blended everything together. Now you guys know how to make a perfect bisque. All right, our kale has softened and the heavy whipping cream has come up to temp and blended nicely. We're ready to serve. All right, because we are serving soup, we are gonna be serving Tristan's in this nice little cup so that everybody can try it. We have about 6 team members right now that are here that are gonna be trying it, and then we'll see which ones they like. And then if they want a bigger bowl or more of it, we're gonna serve it up in a large bowl. A lot of you guys in previous videos have asked in the comments, is there a replacement for cilantro? Because some people do have the thing where cilantro tastes like soap. And I've looked it up and there is. So you can actually replace cilantro with basil, oregano, Italian parsley, any one of those that you feel would go good with that dish can absolutely go in there. And those are great replacements. As I mentioned, this is a copycat recipe from the Zuppa Toscana at Olive Garden. Now normally when they would serve you, they would ask, do you want some cheese on top of it? And they would grate it right there. I'm gonna grate some fresh Parmesan cheese over mine. All right, Jay and Mark are joining us. They're gonna be trying our soups. What are your guys' thoughts on soup?
I'm a big fan, and also it was really cold this morning, so I need something to warm me up.
Nice. How about you, Mark?
Soups are a little, like, I've used soups as like a dipping sauce. I don't really see them as like,
A full meal?
yeah, I like solids.
I get that. All right, give it a try. The bigger one is the Zuppa Toscana. The other one is a Bisque soup from Tristan.
Let's be classy.
Cheers, all right?
That's so creamy. Holy, that's super good.
I think it kind of tastes like a really fancy pizza sauce. So like if it had bread next to it, I think it'd be really good.
Honestly, I could see this as a pizza. That would be the best. Like, that's high quality pizza right there.
Yeah.
All right, the Zuppa Toscana. Jay said this is one of his favorite soups, so.
That's so good. It's just not too heavy, but it covers every taste need you need. Wow.
I think it kind of tastes like the cheese on top of the pizza. Like when you mix it with this.
I did put some fresh Parmesan cheese on top, so I could totally see that.
So I think this is just a drinkable pizza.
A drinkable pizza, huh?
All we need is liquid bread and we'll get the whole soup pizza.
Yeah, where's the liquid bread?
Zuppa Toscana is really good, and so are bisques, obviously with garlic bread. We didn't want to do garlic bread today. Maybe in another episode we will do that. Crystal is currently taking her shower, so she's gonna try it in just a moment. But Mom and I thought we would give them a try. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna do the bisque first. So this is kind of just, it's just a, butternut squash soup.
Okay.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
just drink it?
Just drink it. Oh, that is amazing. I love the butternut squash.
It's not bad, and I usually don't eat squash.
Really? Oh, there you go. Gross to good episode.
It's good. Does it have like a little kick to it?
Has little red pepper flakes and some pepper in it, but yeah, good stuff.
It's good.
All right, next one is the Zuppa Toscana. So it has some kale, Italian sausage, and potatoes.
It's better than what I thought it was gonna be.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's good. It's super good, guys. I actually love the change from russet potatoes to yellow potatoes. They just have a little bit more flavor, but it is perfect. I think the only way to improve it would be to add bacon, which I normally do. But if you're trying to keep the cost down, it's the quickest, easiest cut. And this way, it's more like the restaurant. The restaurant does not use bacon, as far as I know.
I'm really picky on what I eat, and so just looking at it, I would just walk away.
Because of the kale?
To be honest, it just kind of like, no, it didn't look like something I'd like. But after trying a bite, I do like it. It's really, really good.
Such a good soup for a cold morning like this morning. Oh yeah.
So even the pickiest people would like this.
So I've had Zuppa Toscana a lot. I've had Olive Garden, I've had Aaron's. Aaron ruined Olive Garden for me. Like, I will say his Zuppa Toscana is like probably one of my favorite soups, like ever. It's so good. Okay, my second favorite soup is tomato soup. And then my third is chicken noodle. So in order of that, tomato soup.
That's actually a
Oh, it's not tomato
butternut
soup?
squash.
Oh, I thought it was tomato. I do love tomato soup though.
It has some tomato in it, but
Ooh, that's good. It has a really good flavor. Little spicy, but I also think everything's spicy, so I can't really judge it based on that. But the flavor is absolutely amazing.
Crystal's one of those that think ketchup's spicy.
It can be.
She takes after her mother.
I take after my mother.
Because she didn't even have pepper in our house. We never
This
had
is
any
true.
spices.
It was just plain.
Oh,
But a grilled cheese sandwich dipped in this soup would be like heaven.
It would be, huh?
Oh, it would be amazing.
It's got the right amount of spice, I think.
Yeah,
You know, where it's not too much, but it's about what I could handle. Any more spicier than that, I couldn't handle.
I agree.
all right. I want to thank everyone for joining us on today's video. These soups were absolutely amazing. I do agree with the bisque soup. I think grilled cheese or some garlic bread would have just set it off because it would be perfect for dipping. The Zuppa Toscana turned out amazing, and the only change that I would make, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I would definitely add the bacon. Zuppa Toscana turned out amazing. It is a beautiful, cool morning, and the soup just made it perfect. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching today. We love you guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, heart, whatever it is on whatever platform. It really helps us out and we really appreciate it. We will catch you guys on the next one.